know about you, but I don't have a lot of time. I am a full-time teacher. I am in charge of children's church at my church. I have this YouTube channel, and this is actually the most low-key, smallest YouTube channel that I have, because I actually have a full business with a blog and a YouTube channel and products and email list and the whole 9 yards. And I have a whole nother business with all of those things and with courses, and I have a lot going on. I'm pulled in a lot of directions, and that makes it really hard to be creative, because having creative time requires time to be creative. But personally, I am a creative at heart. Honestly, even though I'm a music teacher, I don't really think of myself as a musician. Even though I, paint and I have sold paintings, I don't think of myself as an artist. I've written books, but I don't think of myself really as an author. I just really have clung to the idea that I am a creative and I enjoy creating things. And that encompasses a lot of different things. I have found that during the times of my life when I don't have time to be creative, it is the most miserable times there are. Anytime that I'm feeling like just down in the dumps for an extended amount of time, I can usually attribute it to the fact that I have not been creating things. And one, that worries me. Two, it means I have to get really creative about my creative time, because I only have so much time. I really don't have that much time. And so I have to be really creative about how I can make that creative time happen so that I can continue to feel that throughout time. That's been a really big thing this year for me, as I realized that I really missed being creative, and I really missed all these creative outlets that I really wasn't putting the time and effort into. And so I've really been focusing on how to fix that this year. And I wanted to share a couple of different things, strategies, questions to ask yourself here in this video, in case you are also a creative person who really wants to just get things done, but you don't have time. So grab something fun to drink, and let's get started. Okay, so number one is, what does it mean to be creative? So you want to make sure that you're defining for yourself what that encompasses before we get into anything else, because you need to know what it is you're actually after. Is it that you really want to write? Is it that you really want to paint? Is it that you want to play music? Is it that you want to, whatever you want to do is fine, but you need, sorry, my dog right here making all the noise. But you need to define for yourself what creativity means and what it is that you are actually after. Which takes you to point number 2, which is lower the bar. Yes, I said lower the bar. So here's why. A lot of us have these grand visions of what it means to be creative. I'm going to go sit in a cabin in the woods and type on my typewriter until I have the first draft of my novel done. That sounds glorious, doesn't it? Yes, I would love that. That sounds wonderful. I don't have a lot of sitting in cabin time though. So instead, we want to figure out how we can lower that bar to make it easy in your everyday life. For me, one of my biggest things is I love painting. And for years, I didn't paint because I didn't have time. Because to me, painting is, I go, up in my art studio. It's really just a spare bedroom. And I pull out all my acrylics and I pull out my big old canvases. And it's a huge thing that takes a lot of time and effort. And because it takes a lot of time and effort, I didn't do it at all because I didn't have that kind of time and effort. So instead, this year, one thing that I have been doing is lowering the bar. And in lowering the bar, I have found that I have been so much more creative than normal because it's not such a big deal. I totally just broke that. Oops. The show must go on. And you need to go outside. Go outside. Why are you? I left the door open. Go outside. She wants me to go outside with her, but I guys have to. Okay, so field trip. This is my couch. This is where I usually sit. This is my new basket. In my basket, I have lots of art supplies, and specifically, I have gotten into oil pastels. Now, if you are also wanting to do oil pastels, I would highly suggest the Paul Rubens. They're the best ones I've tried. I tried a whole bunch of them. It's been a whole thing. But I got oil pastels and I grabbed a sketchbook and I have just been making oil pastel paintings, right? Okay, let's share, because why not? Here's the one I did the other day, but let's start at the very beginning. This has all been within like probably 2 months. Okay, so we had here, this is when I was using really crappy oil pastels because it was just what I already had. This one I actually do like, even though it's also not great quality pastels, but I like the picture itself. And here, for some reason, I decided to do both sides of the page because I don't know. We got these, and then we have this guy. This was a tutorial. We have these. I like doing the half sizes because it takes even less time. It's a little bit less pressure. I don't like either of these, actually. Not my style. This one I do like, though. Fun. And then more lily pads here with my like good oil pastels. Here we have a palm tree. I hope you can't see my messy house. Oh, this is my puppy that died. It looks weird because I drew it from this angle, and so it only looks good at this angle because I was sitting on the couch with her, and so the proportions are a bit off, and I plan to make a new one, but I haven't gotten to it yet. We have some waves, and then here's Crazy Nyla. That was a picture I took on our walk. I like that one a lot. I said your name, yes. Go. Still going. Here you go. We have Crazy Nyla again. And that one's pretty. And, ooh, butterflies. And here we are. Uh-oh. I scratched it. Okay, I'll have to fix that. So, anyway, the reason I tell you that is all of those paintings have been done in the last, like, 2 months. I started, like, mid-August. It is now, like, mid-October. And I did all of that in that short amount of time. Have I ever made that many paintings in that short of time? Probably not, because when I want to paint, I want to pull out the big old canvases and I want it to be huge and I want it to be this whole big deal. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you are busy and you want to be more creative, if you can lower the bar, you can get more done. So lowering the bar and making it, like a 30-minute oil pastel that I can do sitting on the couch while watching TV makes a whole big difference versus me trying to like make a whole big deal out of it. Now I will also say that I still paint, which we'll get to in a second, but it's just a little bit different. So number 2 is lower the bar, which takes us to number 3, which is incorporate those things in your daily life. So sit down and watch TV and do it. One thing that I have done that actually, like, the most painting I had done before the last couple months was my bullet journal. In my bullet journal, I every month have been incorporating some sort of bullet journal theme, and a lot of them have had paint in them. And so we have, cute little florals and just all sorts of fun little things. And it's not, again, it's not huge things, but this is something that I could do once a month. I sit down and I, paint little turtles and I just have a good time. And then I get to look at them every day for the month because it's now in my bullet journal. And so that's a way that I have incorporated that into my daily life. But there's other things that you could do that might incorporate whatever your favorite creative thing is into your daily life. I can't think of any examples right now, but I'm sure you can come up with something. Just really get creative about your creativity. What could you do? What are you already doing that you could do just a little bit more creatively and kind of feed that little spark you got? Number 4 and number 5 kind of go together. Number 4 is get real about your time. So how much time do you actually have? And like actually have, not like with all that time you waste. And then you're like, oh, I don't have time, but you actually did have time. You just wasted it. So get real about how much time you actually do have. Recently, we did an ideal week activity. I will link that down below. That's a really good one if you're looking for like trying to figure out that kind of stuff. And number 5 is a great suggestion. Replace some screen time. So instead of scrolling on your phone, instead of watching TV, can you replace a little bit of that time with something creative? Like I said, I sit in front of the couch and I do oil pastels because I recognized that I was wasting that time watching TV but I wanted to still, you know, have that experience and that like laid back chill thing in the evening. And so that's something that I did. Another thing that I do is I just don't get on my phone. I started bringing a sketchbook with me, and then I have my sketchbook. And so instead of getting my phone, I tried to sketch things out. I schedule in time to do other things like practice piano, so that way I'm not filling that time with something else that would not be as useful. I'm now getting that piano time in because I have that time mapped out, because I got real about my time and then, you know, replace some of that screen time. Number 6 is make it portable. So this is actually inspiration from my sister-in-law. She is an art teacher. Actually, she teaches high school art. I teach elementary music. And she brings a little tiny sketchbook everywhere that she goes. And we will literally be like sitting eating lunch at Disney World, and she'll pull out her little sketchbook and she'll just sketch something. We were sitting at the beach one time and she just pulled out her little sketchbook and she started sketching something. So, you know, I was inspired and I made my own little thing with my own little sketchbook. And so now when I'm chilling, you know, you waiting for something, you're waiting for your food or whatever, pull out your sketchbook, draw a little thing. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be, you know, something fun. Or, you know, maybe if you are like a writer, you can write on your phone. The other day I wrote like a whole chapter on a book on my phone like this, because it was all I had at the time. And so like you can make things portable. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Or you can have like a little notebook and you can like write your ideas down and things like that. Like it doesn't have to be a big thing. Make it portable so you can take it with you. So you actually do it, because, you know, anything is more useful than scrolling on Instagram. Right. And number 8, 7. I think it was going to be 8, but it's just going to be 7 now because I don't like the other one. So number 7 is your final one. And that is schedule in time for those big things, because yes, it's great to like, you know, reduce and use those little times that you have and, you know, make it part of your normal life to add a little bit of extra creativity. But listen, I can do all the oil pastel paintings in the world, and it is not the same as sitting down with acrylics and go into town for a few hours. Like that feeling I get when I finish like a painting and I've like been really into it, it is different and it is not the same. And so when possible, schedule those times in. And for me, a lot of times, like I'm a teacher, so a lot of times that is on those days when I have the day off and husband doesn't. Like on Monday, I have the day off and husband doesn't. And so that's a great time for me to go hang out and play with all my paints and do all that kind of stuff. For you, it might be, you know, once a month when your kids are at karate class or different things like that. But do schedule those times in so that you have them available for you, because those are going to feed your soul in a very different way than those little tiny creative things are going to. So make it smaller, lower the bar, do what you can on the normal days, but also, you know, be intentional about giving yourself time on the big days. And you don't have to be like a professional in order to do that either. Like if you enjoy something, you're creative and you should be doing that. I promise it is the best thing you can do for your mental health. Alrighty, friends. So those are a couple of little tips to help you hopefully get a little more creative and do that on a normal daily basis. Leave your suggestions down below in the comments and let us know what your version of creativity is, because I'm curious. So, okay. Thanks. Bye.